It took a long time, a lot of trial and error, mostly error, but I finally found a rubber strap for my Omega. Hi everyone and welcome to Shaluso, and yes, today I am talking about a rubber strap for my Omega. Now for those of you who follow the channel or follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen a few rubber straps here and there on my Omega, but they never seem to last, and the main reason why is because honestly they're usually shit. Most of the aftermarket ones that I've tried have clearly been designed strictly with the newer model in mind, and they've been essentially replicas of that one, and they've never really met the mark in terms of fit for my second gen Seamaster, as well as build quality or even originality. However, after many mistakes, I finally got my hands on a Zealande strap. Big shout out to Zealande. You'll find a link in the description below to both their website and to this specific strap as well. Right away, one thing that you notice with this is just the way that it changes the look. Now, objectively, that is something that, any strap change will do. I've talked about it on plenty of other strap reviews throughout my time on YouTube. But with this in particular, I think one of the cool things is that because of the way that it's fitted, it has that OEM look. It doesn't look like it's an aftermarket. It looks like the watch was designed for the strap and the strap was designed for the watch. And that, I think, makes a big difference. I love the idea of having the integrated strap look versus something where you have just a straight bar, one size fits all, because it gives it that look like it was designed specifically for the watch. And the cool thing is that also with this, in how it changes the personality, it still looks very luxury. It manages to pull off that sporty luxury look like you have with Hublot, like you have with, for example, the Yachtmaster 42, which would probably be like the closest visual competitor to this in terms of just, the rubber strap, white metal, black ceramic bezel. It definitely makes a big difference in terms of the look of it, and I think so much of that is down to how it is fitted to the watch and how it just looks like an integral piece of the watch versus an aftermarket accessory. Now, a little bit of background about Zealande straps. They're a French company, however, the straps are made in Switzerland, so it's kind of a best of both worlds. And they were founded in 2016. So they've actually been making rubber straps since before Omega reintroduced the rubber strap onto the Seamaster. But the really cool thing is that in addition to also making Rolex straps, which there's a fairly big market for, they also make specific for Omega straps. And the cool thing is, if you look on their website, you can tell that they walk the walk because they actually have pictures, demonstrable evidence that these straps will fit on pretty much any Seamaster. And you can always contact them and double check to see if it fits your specific reference, or you can just pick the one that matches your reference and they will send you the strap that fits exactly on it. And you can see that they've actually tested it. And that, I think, is a huge, huge thing, because in my search for getting a strap for my Omega, most times I had to force on the strap. A lot of the times I actually suffered spring bar failure a little bit after. For some, you had to get curved spring bars to make them work. At the end of the day, it's just a pain in the ass. When you want to get a strap for your watch, you want it to just fit. And honestly, that's the first thing that I have to highlight about this watch. We'll jump right into the positives and negatives. Is just the fit on this watch. It seals perfectly. The tolerances are great. Putting it on is a breeze, both putting it on and taking it off. When you look at it from the bottom, there's plenty of space to get a spring bar tool in there so that you can take it off. And at the same time, there's plenty of space for it to go on. There's no forcing. It's all very easy effort. And I actually use the original spring bars from my Omega bracelet. And if you know Omega spring bars, they're usually a little bit thicker. So this actually fits into that too. So it's a great option to directly switch out your OEM bracelet for this rubber strap. And that fit, I think, is honestly 90% of the battle won already, because there's very few rubber straps out there that are properly tested for Omegas and that fit it so seamlessly. The second big plus point for these is just their attention to detail. Now, these aren't cheap straps by any means. You can get rubber straps for 30, 40, 50 bucks. These obviously do cost over 100 US, so there are some expectations there, but I'm happy to report that they do meet that. The attention to detail is amazing, starting off with what I mentioned in terms of the fit, but also in terms of the little details. They have this ridge going across the strap that actually molds into the clasp as well, so it matches that. I think that's something that, they didn't have to do, but they did it. Or another little detail like the fact that the buckle is actually fixed with a screw, not with a spring bar. It's just that little bit more luxury. Spring bars at the end of the day do kind of feel a little bit cheap. Or even underneath the buckle itself, you've actually got a little cutout so that the strap can sit in there. So it means that the strap sits a little bit more flush to the wrist. It means it's that little bit easier to slide this under your cuff. there's small details, but when you start paying a bit more for an accessory, you want to have those details covered. And the cool thing is that in that sense, really it's, it matches what you would expect from an OEM strap. And Omega straps cost, what, $200-300 US maybe? So definitely it's punching above its weight, and it's really giving something that matches the quality of the watch. And then the last positive is just the feel and overall build quality. So again, you can get cheaper straps than this, but also they'll feel a bit flimsy, or you can see where maybe they cut corners in terms of the production process and the finishing. This, honestly, it feels like an OEM strap in terms of the comfort, in terms of the solidity. It doesn't feel like it's something that will break or come off. All the little details that go into the construction of it, both aesthetically and functionally, they all make sense and make for a sort of a cohesive overall experience that you can tell that this was actually designed properly and designed for this watch to compete with OEM straps, not to compete with some of the lower end straps. That being said though, of course, nothing is perfect, and we have to discuss the 3 negatives as well. The first one, granted it's more of a preference, but the fact that there's no option really for installing a deployant on this. The pinholes are all squared off, so it'll be hard finding a deployant that matches it. So that could be not so much a negative because it's more a case of preference, but definitely an opportunity. And considering that Omega recently released an option for their rubber strap with a deployant buckle, and that, the buckle costs like $200 or $300 on its own, plus the strap itself, I can definitely see an opportunity there for something in the future. The second thing is that while yes, the fit on this strap is amazing, it fits really well with the case, it does kind of exacerbate an existing problem of the Seamaster 300M, which is the bezel rotation. Just because of how well it fits right next to the case and how it meets the case junction, it does make it a little bit harder to actually turn the bezel. Now, the bezel on the Seamaster 300M is already a bit of a pain to turn, so this is again not so much a problem with the strap, but more with the fact that the model that it's designed for has kind of that inherent weakness, but it does sort of accentuate that weakness, you might say, of the Seamaster 300M design itself. And then the last negative, again, a small little detail, but on the packaging, there is a magnet that keeps the box closed. It's great packaging, but anytime that you mix magnets and watches, you want to be careful. Obviously, for new Seamaster 300M owners that have the silicone hairspring, you don't have to worry about this because that watch is amagnetic. But for older Seamaster owners, it's something you just want to watch out for when you're fitting the strap. Keep that box nice and far away from your watch. I'm hoping that I didn't have it too close to my watch when I was taking pictures. But again, that is something that isn't really incumbent on the strap itself. And that's the thing, is that overall, this is really an amazing strap. I do kind of regret that I wasted probably about the same price as this on other straps that didn't end up working, on trying to get ones that were maybe a bit cheaper, getting ones that looked like the OEM strap. When at the end of the day, if you have, a $3, $4, $5, $10,000 watch on your wrist, you should get accessories that match it, because there's always that point of diminishing returns where something stops being good value and just becomes cheap. And this is focused on delivering the same quality that you get with the watch itself. And when you compare it to some of the OEM prices, it's actually pretty good value as well. So again, a big thanks to Zealande Straps for sending in this strap for review. Let me know in the comments below, in any case, what are your thoughts of this? What are your thoughts on the look of this strap in particular? What do you think of rubber straps in general? What is your favorite rubber strap provider? And also put in the comments for which brand specifically, because different providers are better at different brands. And definitely one of the big highlights for Zealande is their focus on Omega. So make sure to check them out. You'll find a link in the description below to Zealande straps, including this specific one that is fitted on my Seamaster 300M. And of course, if you like this video, make sure you like it and share it. If you want to see more pictures and infographics of watches, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Shaluso. And if you want to see more videos of watches, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell as well, so you know when the next video comes out. In any case, thanks for watching this video, and we'll catch you on the next one.